You know, this is one of those things where you come get in the van. I've got candy.
You know Steven, right?
I do know Steven.
Okay, so it won't be too weird.
Well, it's Steven.
Tell us about this. Like, can we show that at all? Your whole property is just decked out. It looks so great.
Yeah, I'm a little bit obsessed with Halloween, I guess. This is kind of my Christmas. Yeah, started small and it gets bigger every year.
I want to know like why it's so great.
Why it's so great?
Yeah.
Well, so for years and years I wanted to work for Disney. And then I decided I didn't want to live in California or Florida, which is where a lot of the Imagineering type stuff goes. Mm-hmm. And so I decided, well, maybe I can just play a little bit. Halloween was just a ideal theme to use. And so, you know, I build animated props. I've got the Skeleton Family sings on Halloween night. Cool. I've got pumpkins that sing and stuff, and lights choreographed in the whole 9 yards. So I've got a computer that runs the whole thing.
Wow.
And just taught myself every year a little bit, something new every year.
That's awesome.
And added to it.
What made it so that you kind of figured out, it's like, oh, I don't need to go in the big leagues to like do this?
You know what? I realized that just working on it a few weeks a year kind of satisfied the thirst, so to speak. In order to go in the big leagues, you have to go to Hollywood or to Florida, you know, basically where the big theme parks are. Uh-huh. And just, didn't have any interest in living in those places, so.
Why not?
Too big. I like little towns. Springville is about as big as I want to get.
There's a lot of people who, I know, who don't like small towns. What do you like about them?
The feeling of community, you know, you know people, you know, you go to the store and you run into somebody you know almost every time. The neighborhoods here are great, the schools are great, you know, all my kids have had really good friends growing up. I grew up in New Mexico in a small town, and so I've just been small town the whole time.
There's a little story called This Is Our Town, and it has to do with this kid wants to leave his small town to go to a bigger one.
Right.
And a lot more stuff, but the theme is that he figures out his town was everything.
Right.
And it's what mattered. Wow.
Yeah. So same kind of thing, you know, I got everything I need here. So.
Yeah. And you're making other people happy with your...
Yeah, I've got a lot of kids. We normally have a haunted house walkthrough in our garage, but we're not doing it this year because my oldest son's getting married, and so we had a little bit of time suck there, you know, type of thing. And so I've already had lots of kids come up and go, "Oh, you've got to do it. You got to do the walkthrough," and it's just not going to happen this year. But
how do you get all your stuff?
Build it all. You know, I buy parts, you know, buy skeletons here and there and stuff, and then rip the skulls open and put motors in them, you know, to make the mouths move, you know, that kind of stuff. Almost everything that we have at our house is homemade. The tombstones are all homemade. Wow. I just found that stuff at the stores, especially lately, is just crap.
Oh, really?
You know, it's just not worth the money, and you can make much nicer things yourself. It just takes time.
What made you want to be in Disney in the first place?
I'm a big time Disney nut. It drives my family crazy. If it's a movie or Disneyland, Disney World, anything, I've always loved Disney and the company and the man both. It's just one of those things, you know. It's just what my thing is Disney.
That's cool.
And Halloween.
Yeah, it's good to be passionate about things, but especially that's like they just give so much happiness.
Right. Exactly, and that's why I love them, because, you know, you go on Pirates of the Caribbean and it's one story. You go on Haunted Mansion, it's a different story. You go on Splash Mountain, it's a third story. You know, it's not the same thing over and over again.
Do you have a favorite ride there?
Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion is so cool.
Yeah.
That's where we got our little lanyards, and it doesn't freak you out much, but it just feels cool.
Right.
And it's the Halloween theme, so.
That's right, exactly. So it kind of fits.
That's probably where you would you feel connected to.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for doing this, and thank you for coming on the vlog, man.
You're welcome.
Have a good Halloween.
Oh, thank you. You too.
I've never been so happy about Halloween. That's cool. He made it into like a really positive experience. That's cool.